Well, hello there, sickos, and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling YouTube channel. In all seriousness, given the live performance nature of WWE and the pressures of performing on television, the possibility of suffering a wardrobe malfunction is something that must always linger in the back of a WWE star's mind. Well, the malfunctions that actually happened have been lingering in our mind for a while, leading to this here video. And for those of you tuning in hoping to see a parade of female flesh, well, let's just say you might be in for a rude awakening. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 unfortunate WWE wardrobe malfunctions. Join us. Number 10, Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 21. Whilst most WWE stars only have to worry about their tops and trousers coming loose during a match, poor old Rey Mysterio also has to contend with what is arguably the most important part of his attire, his mask. The King of the 619 has had countless costumes made over the years, with fans getting a particular kick out of the special edition outfits he busts out for big occasions like WrestleMania. But it was at Mania 21 that one of Rey's custom-made hoods almost ruined his bout with Tag Team Championship partner Eddie Guerrero. The two men were kicking off the showcase of the Immortals and had hoped to steal the show when Mysterio's mask threw a spanner in the works. The chin strap on the thing seemed to break on the initial tie-up, and Rey was forced to spend the rest of the match readjusting, which was certainly distracting for both the performer and the viewer. The match was still a banger. Rey and Eddie would have to try pretty hard not to have a great one, but there were a couple of noticeably iffy spots caused by Rey's mask woes. Still better than the devil horns though, eh? Number 9, the Blue Meanie on Raw. Did things just get sexier in here all of a sudden? Because it's time to talk about the Blue Meanie and his big blue balls. The former ECW standout wasn't in WWE for terribly long, but he managed to make an impact during the Attitude Era thanks to his association with Goldust. On the February 1st, 1999 episode of Monday Night Raw, Meanie was attacked by the Bizarre One while dancing on the stage. Goldust then brought him into the ring and delivered his trademark Shattered Dreams kick to Meanie's nether regions. Well, that's what fans watching on television saw anyway. Those in the arena and monitoring the show backstage saw a whole lot more. As Meanie later explained, his ball slipped out of his Daisy Dukes when Goldust put him in position for the low blow, exposing him. Thankfully, this wasn't a live edition of Raw, and WWE were able to spare Meanie's blushes with clever editing. Meanie recalled the horror of seeing his blue boys on the Titantron, describing them as looking like a baby in a beanbag chair. Regardless, he got a standing ovation for his, efforts when he got backstage. Number 8, William Regal at No Mercy 2006. Poor William Regal had a very rough night at No Mercy 2006 as the Brits had a weird run-in with Vito, a literal run into the concession stand, and to top it all off, was beaten black and blue by a returning Chris Benoit. Between getting covered in ketchup and having his nips chopped off by a rabid Wolverine, Regal was shown to have cleaned himself up backstage by getting out of the shower. Call it commitment to character, or perhaps a genuine need to get the condiments off him, because the former Intercontinental Champion was genuinely starkers under that towel. How do we know this? Well, because in the original pay-per-view airing of the show, Sir William's pork dagger was visible for the world to see. You might not have even noticed it, but if you slow the footage down and rewind it many times like I did, it's unmistakable. Anyway, a day later, WWE issued a public statement apologizing for the slip to anyone who was offended by it. A day after that, WWE heavily promoted a game of extreme strip poker on that night's episode of ECW, promising fans that a diva would get totally naked. Go figure. Number 7, Daniel Bryan at Elimination Chamber 2020. Daniel Bryan is one of William Regal's most notable students, with the American Dragon paying tribute to his trainer by utilizing certain moves and even wearing the same color trunks as Regal throughout his career. And that's all well and good, but I have to say that I think D-Bry went a bit too far by performing an homage to Regal's No Mercy cock-up at Elimination Chamber 2020. The so-called champion of the planet was exposed to the whole planet on 2 separate occasions when opponent Drew Gulak went to deliver suplexes, one over the top rope and a reverse one from the top rope. As Bryan later revealed on the Bella's podcast, he wasn't aware of the malfunction in the moment and actually went to sleep not knowing about it. It wasn't until the next day when he got text messages from friends informing him that they had seen his vegan meat and 2 veg that he realized what had happened. He was embarrassed at first, but quickly saw the funny side of things. He's right, you know, knobs are funny. Number 6, AJ Styles at TLC 2016. When going into a potentially dangerous match type like tables, ladders, and chairs, the last thing on a WWE star's mind is going to be the durability of their gear. I mean, especially when you're defending WWE Champion AJ Styles and the TLC match is a pay-per-view main event. The Phenomenal One puts in another phenomenal performance while successfully defending against Dean Ambrose at the namesake event in 2016, but as good as the match was, the action wasn't what a lot of people focused on afterwards. After coming into contact with a bent chair, AJ's tights ripped in an unfortunate place. Spoiler, it was right next to his butthole. Styles was only made aware of the tear when the lunatic fringe informed him of it after AJ had put him through a table, naturally. Styles would later speak of the embarrassment of wrestling with that particular part of his body showing, while claiming that it was not necessarily a wardrobe malfunction since the tights did what they were supposed to do but were pierced by a sharp object. Hey, now's not the time to argue semantics, AJ. I can see your ass, mate. Number 5, Dawn Marie at Judgment Day 2004. Well, we are halfway through this thing, so I figured I would throw you deviants a bone, as a manner of speaking. WWE fans were used to seeing Dawn Marie in various states of undress, as much of her time on television was spent competing in bikini contests, lingerie contests, or clothes-ripping affairs like bra and panties matches. So, seeing the former ECW star's skin was no big deal, really, but there was one instance where neither WWE nor Dawn knew that fans would be seeing her in her skimpies. Marie was wrestling arch-rival and former stepdaughter Tori Wilson at Judgment Day 2004, the two women having their standard match when it happened. It being the moment where Tori went for a schoolgirl and, in kicking out, Dawn's pants fell down. Ever the pro, Marie continued as planned and even performed an X Factor while commentator Taz breathlessly cracked all the arse-related jokes he could think of. They wrapped things up quickly enough, with Wilson getting the win with a backslide. Backslide. Number 4, Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2023. Ah yes, nothing will quite snap you back into reality like Brock Lesnar. At SummerSlam 2023, the Beast Incarnate proved that even the most intimidating WWE stars are not immune to embarrassing situations, as he found himself almost getting wrestled out of his pants. Lesnar was warring with Cody Rhodes in the third match of their intense trilogy, when, towards the end, the crotch in his MMA-style shorts split. Luckily for Brock, he had remembered to put on a fresh pair of Y-Dogs that day, but the damage was there for all to see when the American Nightmare got him in position for Crossroads. Cody ended up winning the match and Lesnar's respect, but much of the chatter on social media afterwards was focused on Brock's blunder, with many taking the opportunity to poke fun at the next big thing. Yeah, I wouldn't do that IRL if I were you. Number 3, Drew McIntyre at a WWE live event. Look, if you happen to have a wardrobe malfunction in the ring, you will be thankful if it takes place on a non-televised live event. Although, these days with everyone having a smartphone and a social media account, you can't even do that without it becoming a trending topic worldwide. Just ask Drew McIntyre, who had some costume issues during a house show in September of 2021. The Scottish Warrior was getting ready to take on former 3MB stablemate Jinder Mahal in a street fight when he struggled to get his kilt off. Video shows that the clasp was obviously jammed something fierce, and McIntyre sought help from ring announcer Byron Saxton before finally wriggling free. Drew then got on the microphone and joked with the fans, noting that he hoped nobody had a smartphone and was filming the snafu. McIntyre, mate, I literally just talked about that like 10 seconds ago. Keep up, eh? Later on social media, the former WWE champion referred to footage of the incident, pointing out that anything can happen at a WWE show, so buy tickets now. Number 2, Rory Fox on ECW. As a member of the Heartland Wrestling Association roster during an era where WWE used the Ohio-based promotion as a developmental territory, Rory Fox would have been known to those within WWE. No surprise then to see him pop up once in a blue moon for enhancement work duty, as he put over the likes of Haku, Heidenreich, Umaga, and Stevie Richards in the 2000s. But it was his match with Zack Ryder for the rebooted ECW that has given Fox a moment of infamy. At some point during the routine squash, Long Island IZ pulled rapid delivery into the turnbuckle by the front of his trunks, with Fox's attire deciding then and there to just give up. The trunks exploded, leaving Rory completely exposed as Ryder continued his onslaught with a broski boot, a catapult into the second turnbuckle, probably the worst move to take while your willy's out, and finally the Zack Attack neckbreaker. Ryder was nervous when he walked backstage, but was immediately relieved when he saw everyone in gorilla position laughing and replaying the incident over and over. Ryder and Fox would later trade barbs and blame in a joking fashion over social media.
I showed the whole world what you were packing, and you were packing a whole lot of nothing.
Number 1. Shawn Michaels on Raw. Shawn Michaels was no stranger to wardrobe malfunctions. Actually, let me rephrase that. Shawn Michaels was no stranger to causing his own wardrobe malfunctions by pulling his pants down and getting his sexy boy backside out. It was a gag that the Heartbreak Kid used often during the 90s, whether he was a babyface or a heel, but he stopped doing it after he found God and made his return as a new, more mature Shawn Michaels in 2002. Commandment number 13, thou shalt not moon. HBK may have abandoned his skin-bearing ways of old, but he would still suffer another altogether different kind of wardrobe malfunction on the May 2005 episode of Monday Night Raw. The showstopper was making his way down to the ring for his Gold Rush tournament semi-final outing with Edge when his entrance jacket stitched him right up. It seems a bit of it got caught in a gap on the ramp, effectively trapping Michaels, who was then forced to wrestle his way out of the garb lest they need to call in the fire brigade to get him out of there. This would have been embarrassing for any other WWE star, but Shawn Michaels is a man with no shame and thus he simply laughed it off.